Welcome associates, gather on the stand. This trial's a circus, but I've got a plan. Not a grifter, still worse than Dan. Hopscotch squares, don't trip, don't fall. BK and a felony, I've heard it all. Shake it, magic 8 ball. Tell me the truth, will justice call? Me be the diva, she's running the show. Chief Capone and that, yeah, everybody knows. Fact or fact, well, nobody knows. What the coin echoes as the chaos grows. My credibility left in a vehicle. Hopscotch squares, don't trip, don't fall. BK and a felony, I've heard it all. Shake it, magic 8 ball. Tell me the truth, will justice call? What the coin echoes as the chaos grows. My credibility left in a vehicle.
Hello. Happy Tuesday. Sorry. I sometimes Rumble just does not want to start. Like hitting refresh over and over again. And then it messes up everything up over on YouTube. So, oh well.
I don't even
Here we
know
are.
Rumble. I don't even know what that is. It like another like streaming service? Like, is there a bunch of other people on there?
It is another streaming service. They're a little bit, they were kind of started, I don't know, when YouTube got real censory, like censory, really hard
Yeah.
on the censorship, they started then because they don't really have a lot of censorship over there. I've never ran into any issues over there, as far as that kind of stuff goes. So I wasn't able to stream to both live. I used to, and then then it would always do well for a little bit, and then it would start bogging my computer down. So now
Yeah.
I can do it again.
Fancy.
So sorry. All right, well,
Hi, Bri.
yeah, it's more free speechy and conservative and censorshipy. Lacks there.
Censorship-y.
Lacks the censorshippery. Whatever.
Oh my god. More free speechy.
Yes, Rumble is where I go to say bad words. Of course. Like, there. See, I knew you guys could help me out. It's fine. It's all fine. AJ knows big words. I don't know Jack today. What's up, Zach? What's up, everybody? I'm, yeah. This is today. This is Tuesday. I have no makeup on. My apologies. But I didn't really do a whole lot today because I didn't want to. So,
Well, that's fine.
and I'm drinking the grossest drinks ever right now. So, sorry if I make faces, but I have to get this crap down. Wait.
When you said that, I was gonna say what, Goldschlager?
Oh, I would rather. Just give me. I would, I would rather do that than drink what I'm drinking right now. That's what I would do. So, if anybody can make that switch work for what I need, I'll do it. But nope. Thanks, Heidel. I'm allowed to drink till midnight, and then I can't have anything at all. But right now, I am working on my first bottle of Gatorade with one full bottle of Miralax in it.
And 4 shots of peach schnapps.
I wish. I wish. Thanks, whoever. Belltown, I dare you to break pencils and pasta in half in here and survive. Well, I Yeah. Yes. I don't know where I'm at. You know how, like, I generally don't eat but one meal a day anyway. But you know when somebody tells you you can't have something, that's the only thing you want?
Yep.
So
I would
it's
have
like,
already effed up. I would have been like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't eat." Okay, that's what you
I
think.
mean, it's like, it's like, yeah, I've just wanted food all day. When are we going to see Hangry AJ? So we're going to see Hangry AJ at some point, or are you allowed to snack? No. No food today at all. They didn't give me options to take a bunch of pills. I would have. I would have. The best prep I ever had was my GI doctor. He was, I have a hiatal hernia, so he was gonna go take a look at it, and he's like, I need you to do something for me. Eat the biggest steak that you can eat the night before, and I'm like, deal, deal. I am snackless and loopy. My pencils are not but. What's up, Bad Dowser? Deidre, whoever, if I've missed you, Ash, if I've missed you, I apologize. I'm just, I'm, yeah.
I was just
Did
gonna say that.
insurance, did insurance cover the steak? Never thought about that, but man, it was the best steak I ever had.
I was just
It
gonna say they
was,
should have sent you like a coupon or something. Steak be expensive now. You want me to eat steak? Absolutely, but you're paying for it.
yep, that's so good.
Don't joke on the drink, AJ. You'd have
Ugh.
every drop of it, okay?
Yes, great. Can't wait.
Oh man.
Okay. All right. We are going to
Farmers.
get,
Sorry.
what'd you say?
You were like, we are, and I was like, farmers. Dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun. Yep. Hey, Chloe. Okay, so we're doing the defense closing today, which can be bad as the state's closing was yesterday, because that was horrible. That was hard to listen to, and I got mad. And then we will have the state's rebuttal. It's 16 minutes long. We can do it. We can do it. And then we will get to the verdict. So that's the plan for today. I think we can get there. Steak goes for almost $80. $80. What the hell kind of cows you got up there?
I don't think they're real
Golden.
cows. I think they're like caribou or something. I'm just kidding, Ash. I don't know. Do you have cows up there?
If you're under a doctor's care, you can get steak billed to insurance. I don't think he would have wrote me a script for that
I'm
or
gonna ask
any
my
whatever.
doctor though. Like, hey, well, what am I gonna do to get some steak prescribed?
She's cowless.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
There was a turkey walking down my neighbor's.
Oh my lord.
Came out of the woods. Was walking down the fence line tonight. I was like, "Oh, you're on the other side of the fence there, buddy." And but you have a good time. You stay over there. She says, "Yes, we
Meatless.
have cows.
Oh, okay.
Meatless cows. That's right."
Meatless? She's like, are they meatless cows?
I like
It's just,
WTF, Gabby.
she goes to the grocery store and it's an empty package and they just slap an $80 sticker on it. It's a steak.
Here's your meatless steak. It's delicious.
It's imaginary because we don't have cows in Canada. You're just pretending.
Oh, she's gonna be posting a picture of a cow in Discord.
She is. I'm like, Ash,
Oh,
that's not
no.
a cow. That's a caribou. That's a reindeer.
Idol says no. AJ's meatless. I am meatless.
Oh. I thought she was talking about Ash's cow.
I did
Meatless.
too. Can you get a bag of milk? I'm not even sure I want to dive into that one. Beth Hesser.
A bag of milk. Oh.
Delicious Canadian sticker steak. Scratch and sniff meat sticker.
Oh my god.
Meatless beef burgers. What about a bag of meat? I want proof the cow is actually north of the border. Does it, instead of saying moo, does it say A?
It does. I bet you it
Or
does.
like moo A?
Yeah, it probably does. It's like, ooh, eh? Or it might speak French.
Moo
Instead of
moo.
saying, yeah, it'll be like, moo moo, wee wee, moo moo. Where's a beret, you know?
It says meh.
Le moo.
Moo, eh? Moo, buddy. They're the nicest cows in the world.
Oh my god.
Ah, that's filet de boeuf.
Oh,
Ah,
man.
yeah. Moo, Canadian cow. See, you guys just didn't know what you were going to get into tonight. See, I had to. Are you saying Hoosier? What are you saying? I'm reading that as Hoosier, which I know they don't say Hoosier. I'm a Hoosier. Like I would be a Hoosier. Not that though. What's that? Hoser?
Who's your daddy?
Hoosier daddy.
Who's your
Yeah,
daddy?
they would say that around here. I'm laughing so hard someone might think I've dipped into the sauce if they saw me walking. Hoser. Hoser. I got it.
A hose bag?
They are not nice. I repeat, not nice. Oh, they must be imported cows.
Mm.
Hoser drawn out. Hoser. I can't do it.
You're like, hose
Hoser. Hose bag.
Yeah, hose bag.
Hose bag. Or Paultown. Psycho hose beat. Hose. What do you used to call them? Psycho hose beat?
Oh, Psycho Hose Beast.
Beast, not beat. Yeah. Gabby, say Vegas.
Why?
I have no idea.
Say hose
Hoser.
with the rose.
Hoser is a Midwest insult. It is? Say hose with the rose. What's up, Ronnie?
Say what?
What?
Shakers and
Don't-
breakers?
Shakers and breakers. That's what she says.
Mm.
Don't be a hoser.
Bobby.
Touch the bowl. I don't want to touch the bowl.
I don't know what the heck you guys are talking about.
I don't either.
Oh, sure.
That was a haunted one. All right. Let's
Let's move on over.
save Vegas or I'm turning on the Baker signal.
What's the baker signal?
I have no idea. A muffin? I mean, he's got the muffin tops. I don't know.
He just has a muffin light that just turns on.
Yes, it's like the bats. It's like,
Oh
it's like
my
the
God,
bat
that's so
signal.
funny. Yeah.
I don't know. I want to know the
giant big
same
muffin.
reason. Like, why Vegas? It's just, I guess, just say Vegas. It's not like you're not getting. There's no Boston coming out in that. It's Vegas.
It calls Broken Baker here to roast your ass. He does that anyway. He's doing it right now, and I don't even know where he is.
Okay,
He put up
she's
this
not.
thing on his channel asking if people were going to Dollywood, and I was gonna
Oh.
type, "No, I can't. I have a warrant out for my arrest because you said I always get arrested, and I know all the jails in Massachusetts, so I can't go."
He says you know.
Gabby knows. I don't know. What, Vegas? Vegas.
There, she said it. All right, moving
Bravo.
on.
Moving on.
Moving on. She did it. Ha! Okay.
She said it
I
wrong.
can't snipe. You say it wrong. Oh gosh, we're not doing it. Vegas. No! Stop. Stop.
No, that's not how I said it. I said Vegas.
Vegas. Vegas.
Not Bagus.
Vegas. Vegas. Vegas.
Vegas.
All right. Here we go with the defense attorney. You guys.
It's gonna always be something. It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all fine. It's on fire behind me, but it's okay. Trust
Yeah.
me.
We're fine.
You're as bad as them Minnesotans with their bags.
Minnesota.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, before he passed away, he was starting to sound so much like a Minnesotan. I was like,
Minnesota. A Minnesota.
it's like, oh, it's hilarious. I hear it. No, I don't hear it at all because he died. Anyways, here we go.
Mr. Stensland, you can make your final argument and summation.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please, of course.
Yes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I, too, would like to thank you for your attention to this case and the service that it means to the citizens of Shelby County in general and to Dixie Shanahan in particular. This is a vital part of the process. You're playing a critical role in this process. It's been long and tedious at points. You've been attentive. We appreciate that. It means a lot to us. It's important, and I appreciate the fact that you've been willing to do it and continue to be willing to do it through the deliberation process and the rest of the case. And I want to tell you, that isn't just an amenity. Lawyers don't just get up here and say thank you like you say goodbye to somebody or hello or how are you. When we get up here and say thank you, we mean it. I mean, it's genuine. It's important because it makes a difference to us in what we do. You give life to the process. You give meaning to the process. You are the judges of the facts, the ones who seek the truth and do justice. That is important. And when we say thank you, I mean it. Thank you. Now, what's our starting point in a case like this? A criminal case. And the starting point is found in the jury instructions. All right? Let's turn to instruction number 3. That is your starting point. And frankly, you never leave that point unless the state has met its burden. Dixie is presumed innocent and not guilty. You start there, you stay there. That's where we begin all criminal cases. Then, let's go to instruction number 2. And keep in mind, no one instruction obviously contains all the law. The instructions are a body of law. They're not just words on a piece of paper. They are the roadmap and the law by which you will judge the facts of this case. No one instruction encompasses all the law. No one phrase encompasses the entire case. It is a body of law that you, 12 minds, will have to bring together to one collective judgment. And you're the ones who give it the life. You're the ones who give it the meaning. No one thing is taken out of context, but certain things are emphasized to make a particular point that we need to make in our arguments and to bring you to the point that we think you need to be. All right, instruction number 2. Where do we go? We're at the presumption of innocence. That's the starting point. The burden is on the state. The burden is always on the state. The burden is only on the state to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. Otherwise, the presumption of innocence never leaves Dixie. It's the only fair way to present and judge any criminal case, and especially this case. All right? And instruction number 2 says, whenever I instruct you, meaning the judge, the state must prove something. It must be by evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. So, the starting point is presumption of innocence. We never leave that point. The burden is on the state. It's always on the state to prove everything that needs to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. What is beyond a reasonable doubt? Instruction number 11. If there's one instruction that you want to say encompasses the genuine concepts of a criminal case, it's this one. Beyond a reasonable doubt is the highest burden known to the law. There is no higher burden. It is purposefully a high threshold. Now take it apart. What does it say? Beyond a reasonable doubt. Reasonable is the adjective describing doubt. Beyond a doubt. If you have a doubt, examine it to make sure it's reasonable. Can't be fanciful. Can't be something made up. It can't be something that's not a part of this case. But it's beyond a reasonable doubt. Beyond a doubt. You're reasonable people. If you have a doubt, examine it. It's probably a reasonable doubt. All right? Keep that in mind throughout this entire case, that's the standard that has to be met by the state's burden.
You are exactly right. I've never seen that. I was like, what is on my screen? I can't pull it up over here. It's on the YouTube live chat. It's a baby monkey.
What?
That Puddletown sent, but I can't pull it up over here.
What do you mean, that's a baby monkey?
It's in YouTube chat. It said he sent a gift, and it's a baby monkey.
I don't.
And it was like dancing on my screen.
I don't see anything. Oh, hold on. Now I see it.
Okay.
That's weird. I've never seen a baby monkey. Well, I've seen a baby monkey, but never in chat.
You sent a chili?
Ash, she just literally sent you like a sticker of a chili.
Oh. Like, I don't have a chili. Ash sent first? I don't see chili.
No, I see that in chat. It says sent chili. But nothing like... Oh, I see it now. Wait, what the heck is this? Is this like a new thing?
Wait, I can't...
This must be a whole new thing for YouTube.
How are you seeing? I don't see it. I can see it in, like, if I change my chat.
If you tap the chili, a whole thing pops up. I don't know what it means, though. Like, do you have to pay for it? What is this? This is all new for me now.
I can't get the chili to pop. I can't make the chili pop up.
It says, you've got jewels on us. By using them, you agree to these terms. Include the virtual items policy. Okay.
Where did she? Because when I click on it,
I'm not
not
making
in
it up,
chat,
Bobby.
I can't. It doesn't do anything. And now
Well,
Pedal
because
Pounds
it's
is
not.
gone
It's
too.
yeah. Well, if you go to the gear
Oh,
and then
the gear.
no, now that's gone too. I don't know why. YouTube changes things way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, tap the thing where I sent happy poop.
It doesn't do anything.
On your phone or in
And
YouTube
I'm on
chat?
yeah, in YouTube chat.
Do it on your phone.
The
That's
other
what
one
I'm
showed
doing.
up.
I don't
The
know.
other one, that monkey thing showed up because I was like, what is happening? Is my computer getting taken over?
Oh, because StreamYard doesn't show.
No, it doesn't show it, but I saw it. It caught my attention.
Yeah, that's weird. Never saw that. Must be new.
Yeah, down. Oh. Oh, I can send it.
Yeah, but
If
what
I
does it
hit,
do? Like,
I don't
you
know.
have to
It's
pay
fake.
for? Is it like a super chat or super sticker?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
Well, thank you guys for sending it. I have to figure it out. Because I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
All right. Or Gabby will
What
figure
is
it out
it?
for me.
Jewel. I'll figure it out.
Okay. All
Who
right.
files your
Sorry.
taxes? I wish. Oh,
It's an
there's
80.
one. Ash
look.
sent a gift. But what does the gift do?
It's a clapping seal.
Yes, but what is it? Like,
I don't
what is
know.
this? What does it do for you?
I don't know.
Me either. That's what I'm gonna look it up right now. It's gonna drive me nuts.
All right.
All right.
It's an ADHD test, and it seems like we've all passed. You can see the clapping seal. All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll wait for Gabby to report back. And I'm going to hit play. This guy's like, just a minute.
The state gets an opportunity to give you a closing statement and then what we call a rebuttal statement. This is the only opportunity that I have to talk to you. The state will get to talk to you again. So I have to combine, rebuttal and comments on the state's presentation with my own summary of the case. I'm not going to spend a lot of time commenting on the state's argument. You've heard it. You put it in perspective. But now let's talk about where the real problems in this case are and why the state cannot overcome the presumption of innocence, cannot meet its burden of proof in this case. We need a starting point when analyzing that also. Now, I want to alert you to Exhibit 100. And the reason I want you to look at Exhibit 100 is that's the vitae of Lori Shipper. This gives you her background. It tells you who she is, what she's done, why she's an expert, why she can say the things she's done. She's taught people. She's taken training. She's the executive director of the Iowa Domestic Violence Coalition. She knows what she's talking about. Exhibit 100. What are some of the things that she told you? And I want to review that first because this is important to how we're going to analyze this case. She told you what domestic violence is. She told you the perspective on domestic violence. She told you about Perpetrator characteristics. There's an external locus of control. There's a criminal belief system. There's a fear of abandonment, rigid sex roles, witnessed abuse, and conjugal paranoia. Okay? They're afraid of being abandoned. There's certain typologies. There's nice guys. There's under-controlled psychopaths. There's over-controlled, what she called the textbook type. Not all batterers fit into the same categories. Now, why is that important? This case is not about, I've been abused for 18 years, so I get to kill the abuser. That's not what this case is about. That's not what this case has ever been about. This case is about what happened on that day, August 30th, and what Dixie brings to the case. And it's not about any other red herrings. It's not about Shelby County trying to say that they've got systems in place to take care of these. Every county does, every state does, every system has things in place to help deal with these situations. Sometimes they work, and God bless those times and those women that are able to get out. And just as often, they don't. You heard from Susie Christensen that she estimates about half the time it doesn't work. That's just the reported cases that start in the system. What about the ones that never see the light of day? What about the ones that never get into the system? What are we up to now, 75, 80%? It's not about being abused gives me the right to kill. It's about what being abused does to you and what you bring to the circumstances that lead to the death. Okay? That's what it's about. Who is Dixie Shanahan at that moment in time? Who is Scott Shanahan at that moment in time? Lori Shipper talked to you about the power and control. It is extremely important to abusers to keep control. And they keep control through all kinds of mechanisms. Beating, submission, economic withholding, my money, my house, my things. Possessiveness, fear, absolute fear, which can lead to things like stalking, which can lead to things like when you go to Texas, you have all the friends call. You call incessantly. You come down there in spite of a no contact order. That's not a condemnation of the no contact order system. That's Scott Shanahan. That's who he is. He doesn't care about that. He's so afraid of the abandonment. He so fits the abuser syndrome that he is willing to do those things because he's fearless of those things for a lot of reasons that he shouldn't be, but he is. That's who he is. He fits that typology. You heard Lori Shipper talk about staying, leaving, and returning. That's routine in these situations. It happens 5 to 7 times on an average. Hopefully during one of those times, the abused person will get out. But it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always work. The violence doesn't always stop. And it does escalate. You heard Lori Shipper talk about it. You heard Dixie tell you how it worked in her life. When you come back, there's a honeymoon period. Remember Lori talking about that? Then it gets worse. And the control becomes even greater. And the reason Lori testified was so you can understand that dynamic. People who haven't lived through it don't get it. And there's good reason. You haven't had to live through it. Until you do, or until somebody like Lori Shipper tells you what that does to you in your state of mind and what you bring to the table every time you interact, not just with Scott, but everybody, the kind of person that you have become because of the power and control and the cycle of violence. Remember the wheel, the different spokes, the uses that can be made of it, and Scott made great use of it. There are traumatic effects that result in a person who's battered in Dixie. Lori Shipper said those are the normal response of a terrified person. Normal response of a terrified person. A person who's had to live through those circumstances. That's not saying that because I've lived through that, I get to go kill the person who put me there. That's not the issue, never been the issue in this case. It's who you are. It's what you bring to the table. And why you would do the things that you do so that you can understand it in a context that hopefully you'll never, ever have to go through. Lori Shipper talked about what she called dissociative skills, constriction, compartmentalization. All of those things refer basically to the same thing. You can take those things, and in order to survive, in order to feel normal, in order to feel like maybe you can get along in life and things can succeed and your family can live a normal life, you put those things in a little box off to the side like they don't exist. And you do things, you lie about them, you cover them up, you wear long sleeves, you tell people, I got a snowmobile accident. You want your life to be normal. That's the dissociative skills. And it is interesting that Lori Shipper said those are found even more frequently in survivors of incest. Unfortunately, Dixie had to share parts of her life with you that she would just as soon never became public. Her stepfather abused her. She grew up in that environment. She told you she can't remember when she wasn't abused. This reflects on who she is, what she brings to the circumstances that she finds herself confronted with in her life. That's why it's important to know what Lori Shipper was telling you. She told you about learned helplessness, lowered self-esteem, self-destructive coping skills, which are a normal response for a terrified human. Engage in help-seeking behavior increases the chances of getting hurt. That's just an unfortunate fact. I'll say it again. Engaging in help-seeking behavior increases the chances of getting hurt. Lori talked to you about the Stockholm Syndrome, how the captive can actually come to identify with the captor. That syndrome is specifically referring to an incident that occurred in Stockholm where the captives, two of them actually became engaged to their captors afterward. A normal response by a terrified human. Keep those things in perspective. That's the kind of person we're talking about here. That's why the years and years of abuse make a difference in this case. Keep in mind that every time Dixie Shanahan interacted with Scott wasn't her. Take a look at it. Wasn't her. It was her. That's who would always rise to the top whenever she dealt with Scott. When she would go back to Scott, would she go back because she wanted to be this person? Or would she go back because she cared about these people? What's a driving force in her life? Keep my family together. I want to be normal. And remember how Lori Shipper told you that people who have had the history that Dixie has had will react to those situations. What's another power model that Lori told you about? Sometimes the perpetrator will keep little symbols around the house, little things that you're not allowed to repair, so that every time you walk around the house, you see those symbols. You can't get away from them. Every time you go by that door, you see where he ran your head through it. Every time you go by the dishwasher, you see where he threw the skillet at you. Every time you see the VCR, you remember him throwing it in your eye. Every time you go past the front doorway, you remember that he ran your head into it, and you have to hide it from the rest of the world by covering it up with a poster. These symbols never, ever left Dixie's life. Every day, she had to see these things. And it was purposeful conduct. It's the power and control. It was done for a reason. And it worked. It worked. Do we wish Dixie had made choices other than the choices she made? Sure. That's not what this case is about. It's not about those choices. It's about what happened in her life that made her who she was on the day in question. The state has reviewed for you the elements of murder in the first degree. He's talked to you about things like malice. He's talked to you about things like premeditation, deliberation. Prosecution has asked you to make inferences, which is a nice way of avoiding proving.
Objection, Your Honor. That's an improper argument.
Sustained.
You must believe that the state has proved this case beyond a reasonable doubt. Inferences are just that. They're not mandatory upon you. Look at the definition of malice. You've already seen it. You don't have to look at it now. But when you get back in the jury room, look at the kinds of words it use. Actual hatred. Evil. Is that a person with actual hatred? Is that an evil person? There is no malice in this case. There is no murder in this case. For that reason, as well as others. Murder in the first degree and second degree require malice, and it doesn't exist in this case. Every one of the charges requires that the state prove that Dixie acted without justification. Now, here's a point I want to make. We made this on voir dire, but I want to make it again because it is a critical point. When you get back in the jury room, is the question, was Dixie justified? No, that is not the question. The question is, did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she was not justified? That is not a small distinction. That places the burden on the state, not on Dixie, and the question comes back to our starting point, presumed innocent. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt she was not justified? Let's look at the justification instructions. We've already established that there's no malice in this case. Dixie's not a malicious person. You're not required to make inferences, especially when they're not there. Let's go to instruction 32. We'll go through these a little bit because they are important, and as would come as no great surprise to you, there are different things that need to be emphasized from what has already been told to you. Instruction 32 gives you the basics for justification. When you're going through these, and they're basically instruction 32 through 38, okay? When you go through these, go back to the question, not was Dixie justified? Go back to the question, did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt she was not? Where do you see that? Look at the last line of instruction 32. The state must prove the defendant was not acting with justification. And the previous instructions have told you that whenever the court tells you the state has to prove something, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. Instruction 33. This one needs to, as much as any instruction, be read very carefully in conjunction with instruction 34. All right? It tells you that if any of these 5 things exist, that there was not justification. Now remember, always go back to the original question that's the basis for your determination here. Instruction 34. The defendant was not required to act with perfect judgment. We are not to go into this and judge a person with perfect hindsight. That is a luxury. That is something that we do not impose upon persons at the time the incident occurred. Perfect judgment rarely exists. You cannot judge the actions of Dixie Shanahan as though it would be the acts of someone acting with perfect judgment. You judge it according to, and read the last paragraph, if in the defendant's mind, okay? If in Dixie's mind, the danger was actual, real, imminent, or unavoidable, even though it did not exist, which it did in this case, but even though it did not exist, if a reasonable person would have seen it in the same light. All right? If in Dixie's mind. Who is Dixie? What does she bring to this? 18 years of abuse. She brings to this the promise that she made to Bev. You saw how she reacted to that. She loved Bev. Bev took her in. She probably took her into the lion's den, but she took her in nonetheless. Dixie promised Bev she would take care of Scott. That weighs on someone, especially Dixie with her history. That's not a small promise. That's not an insignificant promise. Remember when her friends testified? Dixie would take care of people. She treated them with dignity. I don't remember which witness said that, but one of them said she treats them with dignity. That was important to her. And she'd promised Bev that. She brought the years of abuse, the escalating violence, the power the cycle of violence, the power and the control, all the signals around the house, everything that had accumulated throughout her life, she brought to it. If in the defendant's mind the danger was actual, real, imminent, or unavoidable, even though it did not exist. Not perfect judgment. Instruction 35 talks about danger or apparent danger from the viewpoint of a reasonable person under the circumstances which existed at that time. And those circumstances didn't just accumulate in the 2 to 3 days that Dixie and Scott were arguing. They accumulated over years and years. An abusive incident after abusive incident after abusive incident. Every time she came to the table, she brought this person with her. Every time. It is not necessary that there was actual danger, but the defendant must have acted in an honest and sincere belief that the danger actually existed. Honest and sincere belief. Instruction 36. The most important component of this is the second paragraph. If Dixie was in her own home, which she was legally occupying and nobody says she wasn't, and the alternative course of action was such that she reasonably believed she had to retreat or leave her position to avoid the confrontation, then she was not required to do so. You cannot argue that a person must leave their home. You cannot argue that a person must leave their home. Read instruction 36 carefully. Now, instruction 37. If you find that Scott Shanahan made threats against the defendant, Dixie, you can consider that and should consider that in determining whether Dixie had reasonable cause for believing what she believed. You don't have to judge this case in a vacuum of August 30th, 2002. You cannot judge it in the vacuum of August 30th, 2002. You must judge it in the context of the years and incident after incident. You must judge it from the perspective of someone who was beaten regularly, who was given black eyes regularly, who had promised Bev she would take care of Scott, who was left in a basement tied up for 2 days and wasn't even allowed to go to the bathroom, had to sit there and wet herself. All of that comes into the scheme of things. All of that does. Does it give a person a license to kill? No. That's never been the point. Does it tell you who that person is and why they would be in the circumstances they're in on August 30th, 2002? Yes. And you must consider those things in that context, because that's what Dixie brings to the table. 38. You've received evidence in this case that Scott Shanahan committed acts of violence against Dixie and Bev. You may consider that. You should consider that. You've got to consider it. There's no way you cannot consider it in this case. It can't just be excised out as though it doesn't exist. You also have evidence of his character in the community for being violent, in an effort to show that Scott Shanahan was a dangerous and violent person. Scott Shanahan was a dangerous and a violent person. He wasn't just someone that was hard to like. That would have been on his best days. He was dangerous. He was violent. And you can consider that. You should consider that. You must consider that in the context of this case. Does that mean that you can exercise revenge because of it? The instruction clearly says no. As I said earlier, it's not a license to kill. It's the perspective that Dixie brings to the incident. So, it's August 30th, 2002. It's even a few days before that. There's another incident, an escalating incident of violence between Dixie and Scott. Scott is beating her. Scott is threatening her. Scott is preventing her from leading a normal life. Scott is keeping her isolated from friends. He's keeping her isolated from family. You heard many witnesses say that they virtually didn't see Dixie until after this incident. That was by design. That was all part of Scott's plan. My house, my car, my tools, my possession. My wife, my possession. Power and control. This was probably one of the worst instances on August 30th and the day or two before. The beatings were bad, the beatings were severe. Dixie was beaten down, literally, emotionally, physically, every way imaginable. Every time this happened, she would bring that to the situation. Then we come to August 30th. It's the morning. Scott's still in bed. You heard evidence. His routine was he'd stay in bed all day if he thought he could get away with it. The boy, Zach, went off to school. Scott got angry. It set him off. Little things would set him off. You heard Dixie say he'd go in one door and go out one door and come in the other, and he was a different person. There wouldn't be gas in the gas can. He'd get angry about it. Any little thing will set him off, which fits the profile that Lori Shipper told you about. He was angry. He was livid. They'd been having a several-day battle over Dixie's new pregnancy. She was pregnant again. Scott was threatening her. He was beating her. He was telling her she wasn't going to have this child. He was calling her unbelievable names and humiliating her, same as he always had. So Dixie sends Ashley away. Doesn't want her to see this. It's getting out of control. She tries to leave. She goes into the garage, and once again, Scott goes out there, takes the keys, and literally drags her into the house. Literally, by the hair, dragging her across the floor. Into the house. He leaves her on the floor just as they're coming in the house, insults her, threatens her, says, "This day isn't over yet. You're dead. I'm taking care of you and this unborn child. We're not going there." He goes and gets a gun. And he comes back and he points it at her. He threatens her with it. That's not good enough for him this time. He loads it in front of her. Why is he doing that? Because he wants her to see that act of loading the gun. It's another threat. It's another way of gaining control. He reaches for the shells that he's got there. There are no 16 gauge shells. We've seen no evidence that there was any 16 gauge shells found. He doesn't much care at that point. He's loading that gun to make a point to Dixie. He wants her to see it. This threat's real. This day's not over. I'm taking care of you and that unborn child. Then he goes back into the bedroom. He's in a rage. He's shaking. He is out of control. And you've heard other persons testify that they've seen him like that before. How he shakes. He shakes. Dixie sits in that blue chair. Do you think she's keeping a clock on things at that point? Do you think that there's premeditation and deliberation at that point? She is conducting herself with the normal response of a terrified person. Scott's ripped the phones out of the wall. There's a phone in the bedroom. As she's walking into the bedroom, Scott's still awake. He's still in his rage. She goes towards where she knows the phone is, and there's the shotgun, leaning right up against it. There it is. She believes Scott is moving towards her, and you saw her testimony. She believed he was moving towards her. What kind of movements were they? Lord only knows. Shoving a pillow between his legs is a movement towards her. Reaching up and grabbing a pillow in a rage and pulling it down in a fit of anger is a movement. Dixie believed, had an honest and sincere belief that he was coming after her, picked up the gun, pointed it, shot, and then thought, oh my God, what have I done? The normal response of a terrified person. Now we want to hold it against her that she would do things that are consistent with that normal response of a terrified person. You know, she didn't go write checks to fix her teeth, did she? She didn't go write checks to take a little trip. She went to Walmart. What do you get at Walmart for your kids? She went to a grocery store. What do you get at a grocery store for your kids? Normal response of a terrified person. On August 30th, 2002, Dixie Shanahan brought all those years with her at that moment in time. She was convinced she was dead and that her unborn child, who now is Brittany, was dead. Remember when she was at Kathy Meyer's house? Knowing that it was over. They were going to find Scott. She knew it at that point. Remember what she did laying on the couch? Held her stomach. Not because she was sick to her stomach. The memories of what happened that day and who she was protecting. Because on August 30th, 2002, Dixie Shanahan brought all those years of abuse, and she acted reasonably. She acted in a manner that this person would react, because she reacted with the normal response of a terrified person who was pregnant, who'd seen all the signals around the house, who brought all the years of abuse with her to that moment in time so that she could protect herself and her unborn child, Brittany. That's the person that showed up that day. That's the person that's being judged. When you go back into that jury room and determine there's no malice, murder's immediately gone for malice, The rest of the charges are gone because there's no justification. Ask yourself, did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Dixie Shanahan, when she walked into that room, had an honest and sincere belief that Scott Shanahan, who had beat her and beat her and beat her for years until she was this person seeing these signals protecting that child? Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she was not justified? Of course not. The only verdict that can be reached when you seek the truth and do justice, in this case, is a verdict of not guilty. Thank you.
Alrighty then.
Well, I would have definitely done the gong sound after that, but that's just me.
I'm gonna just dreading this. Start this guy's rebuttal, and then I have to go put my laundry in the dryer.
The rebuttal? There's a rebuttal?
Yeah. It's 16 minutes. We can do it.
Bong. Yeah.
No. I don't even know. They've moved stuff around. Where are those things? I don't even know where those things are.
So the gift thing basically replaced the super stickers because there's no longer the super sticker button.
Oh.
You have to press the gift button. It's like a little gift on your phone next to the cash symbol where you would normally go for super stickers. You push that and it shows all the jewel stuff, and that basically replaced the super stickers.
Got it. Here, I found it for you.
Nice.
Also, thank you for your super chat, period.
There it is. It's that laughing disco. It sucks because it doesn't show up in StreamYard, so we can't even put that up on the screen.
Yeah, I can't.
That's the worst.
Can't do anything with it.
That's why it kind of sucks because you can't show it off.
What's up, Robin?
Hey, Robin.
I will make a poll when I get back. I gotta go put my laundry.
What is it?
In the
make a
dryer.
poll. What?
You can make a poll.
Oh, wait.
You can make a poll. I think you can make a poll in StreamYard now.
Interesting.
I don't know where.
Well, that helps.
Oh, there it is. Under widgets. New poll.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What everyone thinks the verdict will be?
Yeah. After rebuttal. Yep.
All right. I will do that.
All right. I'll be right back.
All
Also,
right.
I gotta take this glass upstairs so I don't have to stare at it anymore because I drink everything. It's so gross. It's bad.
All right. Bottle number 2.
Not till 9. Not till 9.
At night? That's way past your bedtime.
I will not be going to bed. Bottle number 2 is at 9. Bottle number 3 is at 2:30.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's great times.
All right.
Be right back.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Stinson. Mr. Tolman, final argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court has mentioned, this will be the final time I have to address you, or anyone will, and then the case will then be in your hands. Now, the only reason why I'm allowed this final opportunity to talk with you, to address you, is because burden of proof is on me. There's no question about it. The state of Iowa has a burden of proof. Now, we've been at this for more than a week. I know you've heard a lot and I don't want to keep you very much longer. There's just a few things that the defense attorney has brought up that I'd like to address for you and discuss with you a little bit. So I'll try to be as brief and succinct as possible. Please bear with me. One of the things that the defense attorney has just done is basically create some evidence. He has suggested to you that Scott Shanahan made a movement to stick a pillow between his legs. He has suggested to you that Scott Shanahan made a movement to wrap his arms around the pillow. That's how he and the defense wants to move away from the fact that Scott Shanahan was sleeping when he was shot. What evidence is there to that? The defendant was there. She testified. She was on the stand for 3 hours. She had every opportunity to describe that. Did she do that? She was so vague about this movement. I think at one point, ladies and gentlemen, I recall her saying to us that he turned and faced her. And then when I said, well, but you shot him in the back of the head, how could he have faced you if that was the movement that you saw? Well, I saw a movement. She backed off there. Where in the world is there any evidence in this record, as a defense lawyer would have you believe, that some movement was made by Scott to put the pillow between his legs or wrap his arm around a pillow? And why in the world would a reasonable person ever think that's a threatening gesture? Because that's the ultimate bottom line here when you're trying to decide justification is, did what this defendant do, did she have to act with perfect judgment? No. Are you allowed to take into the fact that her prior experiences? Yes. Bottom line, every one of these instructions on justification will tell you that she had to act like a reasonable person would. And there's a good reason for that. Another instance in which the defense seems to have at least interpreted the evidence much differently than I think it really unfolded. He just talked about, remember when the defendant was at Kathy Meyer's house and she was lying on that couch holding her stomach, and it wasn't because she was nervous because of what was going to be found. Oh, really? No, she was holding her stomach because she was thinking of her unborn baby. Well, that's very nice for someone to suggest to you. And it sounds really sweet and it sounds very sympathetic. We're not here about sympathy. This is the woman that had just told Kathy Myers, I need an 18-pack of beer and 2 packs of cigarettes. So this woman is in that house that afternoon knowing that the sheriff is going to find a dead body in her house. She's drinking beer and smoking cigarettes, laying on the couch, holding her stomach, thinking about her baby. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. See through that kind of ploy or that attempt to generate some sympathy here. That's not what happened. I'm not up here pounding on the table asking you to do anything unreasonable. I'm not asking you to do anything other than just be fair in this case. That's all. The woman that the defense tells you was lying on the sofa, holding her stomach because of the thoughts of her unborn child. This is the same woman that when the sheriff, Gene Kavanaugh, and Dave Jobs came to the house about an hour later after she'd had some beers, this is the same woman that was hiding in the back closet. Remember that? Where was Ms. Myers? Where was the defendant when the sheriff came? And Ms. Myers, as I observed her conduct on the stand, she didn't really want to have to answer, but she knew she was under oath and she did. Well, she was hiding in the back closet. Did she say anything to you when the sheriff came? Yeah, she did. What did she say? Tell him I'm not here. This defendant lying on the sofa, holding her stomach. Is that the image is that what the facts show, or do we know that this defendant was lying on the sofa because she knew there was a dead body at her house and she wanted a couple packs of cigarettes and some beer because she knew what was going to happen. She was going to be arrested. She was nervous. She, in last resort, tried to hide from the sheriff. Tell him I'm not here. The Myers couldn't do that. The defense has told you there is no malice aforethought. Now, you have the instruction with you there, and he talks about actual hatred and ill will. It's not just hatred and ill will. You'll have a chance to read that instruction. There is malice aforethought here, a fixed purpose to do some harm to another person. That's malice aforethought under the instructions. And what this defendant told you when I asked her in cross-examination, and you pointed that gun and you pulled the trigger and you meant to shoot him in the head and kill him. Is that right? That's right. That's malice aforethought. That's not inferred. If she hadn't even answered that question, the law takes into account your common sense and says, the common sense we all have, that if you point a gun and shoot somebody with it, you must have intended to inflict some kind of harm on them. That's the inference the court allows you to make. It's not improper. The defense lawyer almost suggests like, oh, how could you can't infer that? But the court tells you you can. We don't have just that. We have the defendant's own words. Yeah, I meant to shoot him in the head. I meant for that to kill him. Yes. The defense has spent a lot of time in the initial part of the opening or its closing argument on Lori Schipper, and I understand that she's the director of the Iowa Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Obviously, an organization that has a good purpose. I'm not criticizing it in any way at all, but I want you to take a look and just be fair and look at what Lori Schipper told us. She spoke in terms of generalities. I think she was first contacted in this case by the defense in March. Ladies and gentlemen, she hasn't even sat down and talked with the defendant. She doesn't apparently even know what the defendant testified to Tuesday morning. So yeah, she can talk in terms of generalities, and we have these terms, this power models, dissociative behavior, power symbols, all this stuff. And I'm sure that there's a basis for discussing that in an academic situation and in a situation where you're trying to develop programs to help people. But we're talking about real life here. What happened in this case? What happens to victims in real life? Lori Schipper wasn't able to give us much of that. Susan Christensen was. The key really is, did the defendant act reasonably? Now, remember the alternate course of action, and you'll have a chance to read that instruction, but I'm going to point it out to you again. Yes, if a person is in their own home, minding their own business, and they're confronted with some force, they can use force against that. They don't have to run out of their own home. There was no confrontation. No confrontation at that point. Scott Shanahan, this person that the defense wants you to believe was in this huge rage, he was in such a rage that he got up and went in the bedroom and went back to bed. Confrontation ended. Where's the defendant? Sitting in the chair. An opportunity to think and consider what she's going to do. Now, the defense has urged you that Scott Shanahan loaded the gun. The defense has urged you that this is just something she saw, but the facts tell us otherwise. Your common sense tells you otherwise. The wrong shells in a gun. This defendant taking a gun she knew was still loaded with one live round, putting it in her children's room. She knew what was in the gun. She knew it couldn't operate anymore. She'd loaded it. Put the 20 gauge shell in the chamber. Put another one in the magazine. It jammed. When the first round went off, she knew there was no second round. She couldn't get it out. She knew that. Otherwise, she would never have placed a loaded weapon in her children's. He told you, the defense lawyer told you how much she cares about those children, and I'm sure everyone has some sympathy for them. She could never have put a loaded shotgun in that bedroom unless she knew that it wouldn't fire, because she'd loaded it and she hadn't loaded it properly, and that second shell was jammed. There is that instruction. It's 38. The defense lawyer mentioned it to you, and I'll point it out to you as well, because I think it's very important. It's the last line. And it talks about Scott Shanahan's violent character. Yes, we know that the people that knew him felt he had a reputation for being violent. We know that he was violent with this defendant. There's no question about that. But when you get down to that last line, that last sentence in Instruction 38, take a look at that. If the defendant used force in revenge or only to punish Scott Shanahan, the defendant's act was not justified. Now, when we in this country impose harsh penalties on other people, we have what's called due process of law. There are people that have done horrible things in this country, and they've been afforded due process of law. They go to trial, where they go through this proceeding. There are appeals. There are chances for an independent body to consider, should they be punished or should they not? Should they live or should they die? Could that happen in this case? Hasn't really what's happened here? Hasn't this defendant taken the law into her own hands, become the sole judge, jury, and executioner in this case? Without justification? Hasn't she, rather than acted in self-defense, hasn't she shot a man who's sleeping in bed, a man who did horrible things to her, but hasn't she shot a man in bed without justification? Hasn't she, in effect, executed it? You are the representatives of the people here in Shelby County and throughout the state of Iowa. When you reach a verdict in this case, just like in any other case, criminal case in the state of Iowa, when juries reach verdicts, they essentially set standards of behavior. So you have a very serious duty in this case. Now, if you find from the evidence that the state has proved those 5 elements of murder in the first degree, if you find that I have, and I've done it beyond a reasonable doubt, it's your duty as a jury in this case and as representatives of the people here in Shelby County to return a verdict of guilty. I submit to you that that proof is before you, and I ask you on behalf of the people here in Shelby County, people throughout the state of Iowa, to find this defendant guilty as charged and to return form of verdict number 1. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that you will keep this jury together during their deliberations, that you will allow no one to speak with or meet with them, nor to speak with them yourself, that you will keep all exhibits secure, and that you will not discuss with them the state of their deliberations, nor divulge the state of their deliberations until the same have been returned in open court?
I do.
One of the last things I have to do is tell 2 of you that you are alternates and are not going to be serving.
Your Honor, we forgot instructions.
No, I have not forgotten. So Ms. Kanan and Mr. Buman, you 2 are the alternates, and you can stay right where you are for now. But it is sometimes difficult to sit through an entire trial and then not take part in the decision. I will advise you, you are still under an oath as a juror, as an alternate juror.
It's sirens again. It's sirens. Just like the last trial. Must be Friday.
That means you cannot discuss this case with anyone until it has been decided, until a verdict has been reached. It is remotely possible that you could still yet be called back to the courthouse. So keep this matter totally to yourselves. Do not discuss it with anyone. Thank you very much for your service. It was important that you be here. We never know what can happen. Finally, I want to thank the jury also, as the attorneys did, for your time, attention, courtesies. The exhibits will be delivered to you shortly. We wish you well in your deliberations. Finally, instruction number 45, if you will turn to that. When you begin your deliberations, you should select a 4-person. He or she shall see that your deliberations are carried on in an orderly manner, that the issues are fully and freely discussed, and that every juror is given an opportunity to express his or her views. In order to return a verdict, each juror must agree to it. Your verdict must be unanimous. It is your duty as jurors to consult with one another and reach an agreement, if you can do so without compromising your individual judgment. Each of you must decide the case for yourself, but do so only after an impartial consideration of the evidence with the other jurors. During your deliberations, do not hesitate to re-examine your views and change your opinion if convinced it is wrong. But do not change your opinion as to the weight or effect of the evidence just because it is the opinion of the other jurors, or for the mere purpose of returning a verdict. Remember, you are judges of the facts. Your sole duty is to find the truth and do justice. You're excused to your jury room. Lunch will be provided to you so you can stay right here. I want to tell you that you can today set your own hours. I want you to stay at least until 5 o'clock, but if you want to work into the evening, that can be arranged, but remember that you have the opportunity to come tomorrow, and I want you to try to reach decisions about how late you go based upon everybody's situation, because some of you may have children at home or need to get somewhere. So, but this is your primary duty, and we appreciate it. That's all.
Okay. Finally. It is time for the verdict. Give me a second. Alrighty. Here we go. We got 43% guilty, 57% innocent.
Oh, sugar.
I'm on. You're feeling grumpy as shit? Me too.
I mean,
I'm really
That's
trying
not-
to not throw up right at the moment. If you want to be, if you want me to be completely honest.
just think of the Sahara Desert or something dry.
Yeah, I don't feel very good at all.
All right, well, let's get this done.
Yeah, please. Let's do it.
All rise. The District Court of Iowa is now in session. The Honorable Charles Smith presiding.
Please be seated. Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes.
And Mr. Are you the foreman?
Yes.
I would like to just state before we take the verdict that the receiving of a verdict in a trial like this is a serious thing, and I ask that everyone please remain quiet during this proceeding. Mr. You'll hand the verdict to the clerk. Defendant and her counsel and prosecutor, please stand. This is the State of Iowa versus Dixie Shanahan. The form of verdict used by the jury is form of verdict number 2. We find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree. You can be seated. Mr. Foreman, is this your verdict? Do you wish to poll the jury?
Please, Your Honor.
I will read the name of each juror. You will be asked if this is your verdict. The defendant is ordered taken into immediate custody. Her bond is revoked. Sentencing will be scheduled tentatively for May 10th. That date can be, we can change that date if in consultation with the attorneys if necessary. I I want to thank the jury for your time and effort and the courtesies extended to everyone. These are difficult matters, and I appreciate the attention you've given to this case. You can retire to the jury room now. I ask you not to leave until I come in and release you. Thank you. Court is adjourned.
Can I go in and start collecting these exhibits?
Yes, I'll be in a little bit. I'd like to see counsel at some point. There's no rush.
I told Dixie we...
Great. Can you turn around the kids? Do you know if they're in school or home? So we have to...
Okay. Hello, Nidwell. Sorry. Give me a sec. So I haven't looked at the laws title, but I do have a bunch of stuff for that happened after the verdict. We're gonna do that on Thursday, but give me 1 second here, and I can. They cut that out, Deidre, because he was saying all their names, which was weird. So, one thing I did read is the defense did not ask for a change of venue. I thought they did, but they did not. Just banking on the fact that they were in her town, and her town seemed to have a bunch of sympathy towards her and her situation. So, they didn't ask for that. One thing that I found today is that Dixie actually had rejected a plea deal. Let me pull this up here. Get rid of some stuff. Sorry, it's... I know that's what she said. It's harder for me to make these bigger sometimes.
Oh, God. I remember.
I'll try. Because sometimes it scoots it so it's not...
Centered, yeah.
Yeah, drives me crazy. But that's as big as I can get it. So, she faces up to 50 years in prison with that conviction that she just got. She had been offered a plea of manslaughter, which would have, I think, I got to see if I can find this because I don't want to read through. Like, we all know the what happened under the trial. So, with her being found guilty of second-degree murder, it carried a prison sentence of up to 50 years. And then under Iowa's mandatory sentencing laws, she had to serve 35.
Wow. How old was she?
So she was, I think, 36. Yeah.
Mm.
So she had been offered, I think, manslaughter. Where's that at? I know I read it. I guess I didn't read it in this. Oh, here, there it is. Before her trial, she was offered a voluntary manslaughter plea bargain that carried a 10-year prison sentence. So, she's
So she
facing
has to serve at least 10?
No. That's what she could have had to serve 10, period.
Oh, gotcha.
But she turned that down. She's facing 50 and has to serve 35
Wow.
mandatory. So,
Now on Thursday, you're going to talk about more what happened with her kids and stuff? Or do
Yeah.
you know that? Okay.
I do. Yep. I know that as of that time period. Like, I know where they went.
Okay.
I don't know anything about them today. And I hope that they are doing well. But a lot has happened. Like, a lot happened afterwards. I have, I can tell you what she was sentenced to. I can show you that. I don't have her sentencing on video. I just have, I have these newspaper clippings. The judge apparently was not thrilled with what he had to sentence her to. So,
Oh, boy. What a title, huh?
yeah.
I mean, geez.
Because his hands were tied by the mandatory minimums.
Yeah.
So he had to give her what he had to give her. I mean, I can't read it on this side. I have to read it on this side. I won't take my mic with me. All right. Turn, little computer screen. It says a judge and juror who played roles in sending Dixie Shanahan to prison for up to 50 years expressed frustration May 10th about Iowa's tough mandatory sentencing laws. The judge, Charles Smith, handed down the sentence for Shanahan's second-degree murder conviction in the shooting death of her abusive husband, but blamed state lawmakers for rigid laws that are in, quote-unquote, in my opinion, wrong. It may be legal, but it is wrong. The juror, Susan Benson Blaine, left the courthouse with tears in her eyes, vowing to seek changes in the law. I had it in my head it would be 25 years and she would have gotten out in 8, said Benson Blaine, 51, a security guard at the Shelby County stock car track. None of us knew. Jurors on April 30th convicted Shanahan of second-degree murder for killing her husband, Scott. Under Iowa law, which takes discretion from judges and keeps jurors in the dark about the penalties attached to their verdicts, the Defiance women won't be eligible for parole for 35 years. Judge Smith, who rejected Shanahan's request for a new trial, acknowledged the years of abuse Shanahan suffered before he told her that he backs the jury's verdict. Perhaps, Dixie, your case will make the legislature take notice and do something to untie the hands of the judges in the state, said Smith, who also ordered the Defiance woman pay $150,000 to her husband's family, which I don't think he had very many relatives left. I don't know why he ordered that, because he spent the $150,000 before she ever did anything to him.
Wow, that's insane. I would have been like, get bent.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Shanahan, 36, sat calmly in an orange jail jumpsuit and handcuffs. When the judge asked her if she wanted to say something, she said not at this time. Her attorney, Greg Steensland, spoke instead. He repeated that Shanahan was protecting herself and her unborn child when she killed her husband in August 2002. Scott Shanahan's, but we know that. Steensland compared Shanahan's punishment to one final beating from Scott and said he hopes the Iowa Supreme Court will overturn the verdict. Before the trial, Shanahan turned down a plea bargain that would have set her free in a decade. Sorry, I just read that to you. She will be at Mitchellville State Prison. And that's pretty much that. So the judge he wasn't happy.
Yeah.
But yeah. The juror that's in there, I have another thing from her. She's actually a survivor of abuse herself.
Mm-hmm.
And so she could understand where Dixie was coming from, but she's like, I was able to get out, you can get out type of thought process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to leave you with that. And then I will let you know everything else that happened after that. I have her appeal that we can go through. It's kind of interesting. And there was some, like, the governor gets involved. There's just a lot of stuff that happened afterwards. It's really kind of crazy.
Wow. That is crazy.
So if you guys can hang on until Thursday, then we will go over that and we will tie this up in a bow and it'll be done. So, but other than that, I gotta go lay down or something. I like start.
Okay.
You feel hot and you kind of like get sweaty, like clammy, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't feel good.
I get that.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, all right, you guys. That's what I have. So, like I said, we'll finish everything up on Thursday. I think you'll find everything, I think you'll find it interesting. I think you will, there's a lot happened. It's really weird. And then we'll decide what we're going to do next on Thursday as well. So, thanks, Jenny. I don't know why I'm struggling so bad with this one, because I don't generally until later, but this one's just not hitting me very, it's hitting me hard. Not in a good way. Bad Dazzer, just so you know. Thanks, Ash. You saw the butterfly? Thanks, Robin. Alrighty. That's all I got. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Pedal down. I don't know what to do with your... You said... Oh, you saw the butterfly. I get it.
It shows it in chat, but you can't show it on screen because it doesn't show up in StreamYard.
Oh, got it. But you guys see it on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks, Bad Dazzer. Thank you, whoever. I have a feeling everything's going to come out in a second.
AJ's going to be like, move out of my way.
Yes.
Hey, it whoosh.
Yep. All right.
All right.
So, you guys all take care. And I will see you guys all back here on Thursday. So, have a great night.
All right. Bye. Oh, my God.
Hot mannequin love is kinda uncanny. Click, like, subscribe, ooh, piece of candy. Looking for my spotlight, chasing my vibe. Still looking for my credibility online. Ooh, hot mannequin love, candy on the floor, don't pick it up. Chasing all the clicks, chasing all the views. Credibility's hiding, but I'm bringing you the news. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go. you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go.